Why 67% of digital transformations miss deadlines? It's not the technology. Welcome back. Today's topic is why 67% of digital transformations miss deadlines. It's not the technology. We'll cover what you actually need to know about digital transformation failure. Let's talk about the real reason 67% of digital transformations fail. The commonly repeated statistic from research captures what most consulting engagements already know: most transformation failures are behavioral and organizational, not technical. Budgets get approved, platforms get selected, and development teams get hired. Then scope begins to drift, stakeholder alignment breaks down, and deadlines slip with no clear explanation of why. The core problem is that most enterprises treat governance as a compliance activity rather than a delivery mechanism. They build change management plans after the fact and add approval gates when something has already gone wrong. Real delivery governance framework thinking starts at project kickoff, not at post-mortem. When a CTO approves a 12-month digital transformation project, there are usually explicit milestones but almost no structure for what happens between those milestones. Weeks pass. Decisions get made informally. Code gets written against assumptions that were never formally validated. By month 4, the project is technically behind, but nobody in the leadership chain has seen that in writing. Next up, moving on to what is human-in-the-loop governance and software delivery? Human-in-the-loop governance is a delivery methodology where human approval is required at every decision point in the software delivery lifecycle. It is not the same as manual review of finished code. It means that at defined checkpoints, a qualified human, whether a technical lead, product owner, or client stakeholder, reviews what was built, confirms it matches the approved spec, and explicitly approves advancement to the next stage. In the context of AI-augmented software development, human-in-the-loop AI governance gets specific. When AI tools generate code, produce architecture recommendations, or automate testing, the outputs do not proceed automatically. They go through structured human review. Our detailed explanation of what human-in-the-loop governance means for software teams covers the full mechanics. The practical effect is that no AI-generated output reaches a production environment without a named human who reviewed it and accepted responsibility for it. This matters enormously in regulated industries like healthcare and financial services, where auditability is not optional. Human oversight AI systems also create a documentation trail: who reviewed it, when, what version, and what criteria were applied. Now, where digital transformation failure really starts. Digital transformation failure rarely begins with a bad architectural decision. It begins with an insufficiently scoped project that moves into development before the team understands what they are building. Most enterprise delivery models have approvals at start and end, sign off on the statement of work, sign off on the final deliverable. Everything in between operates on trust. That middle section is where digital transformation failure actually compounds. A requirement gets misunderstood. An integration turns out to be more complex than estimated. A legacy system behavior was assumed, not confirmed. Software delivery governance inserts checkpoints into that middle section. It does not replace agile velocity. It adds accountability to it. Each sprint ends with a demo, a review of what was built against what was approved, and a formal go/no-go for the next sprint. Next up, let's talk about the blueprint sprint: how to scope projects before writing code. Q Services developed the 5-day blueprint sprint specifically to address the requirements and scoping failure that causes digital transformation failure downstream. The blueprint sprint methodology is a structured pre-development process that produces a complete technical specification, effort estimate, risk register, and delivery roadmap before a single line of production code is written. The 5-day blueprint sprint is structured around specific daily outputs. By the end of day 5, the project team and the client have identical mental models of what is being built, why, and how long it will take. Q Services HITL governance includes the blueprint sprint as its first phase, followed by sprint-level checkpoints, AI output review gates, and immutable audit trails that satisfy compliance requirements in healthcare and financial services. Let's talk about AI in software delivery, opportunity and governance risk. AI in software delivery has changed what development teams can produce in a given sprint, but it has also introduced new risk categories that most governance frameworks have not caught up with. AI-augmented software development means that AI tools assist developers rather than replace them. The speed gains are real, teams generate boilerplate code faster, tests are scaffolded automatically, and documentation drafts from code comments. A developer who previously spent a day writing integration code now spends an hour reviewing AI-generated output. The risk is that speed creates pressure to skip review. When a developer produces 500 lines of code in an hour that would have taken a day before, the natural tendency is to treat that output as more trustworthy than it should be. Responsible AI implementation means building review processes that match the pace of generation, not processes designed for the previous pace. Now, next up, why digital transformation failure is a governance problem, not a tech problem. The research backs this consistently. A Harvard Business Review analysis found that digital transformation is fundamentally an organizational challenge, not a technology one. Companies that invest in governance mechanisms outperform those that invest equivalently in technology platforms alone. This changes how a CTO or CFO should evaluate a transformation initiative. The question is not, do we have the right technology stack? It is, do we have the right governance structure to make decisions about that stack consistently and accountably? A delivery governance framework answers that question operationally. It defines who makes decisions, at what point in the delivery cycle, with what information, and with what authority. Without that framework, even the best technology choices get undermined by informal, undocumented decisions that accumulate into missed deadlines. Let's talk about moving on to how to add governance to your Agile delivery process. Adding software project governance to an existing Agile process does not require abandoning Agile principles. It requires making some decisions explicit that Agile intentionally leaves flexible. Sprint governance, where human checkpoints fit in Agile delivery, identifies 3 non-negotiable checkpoints in any governed sprint. These checkpoints add roughly 90 minutes per 2-week sprint for a team of 5. They save, on average, 3 to 4 days of rework when they catch a misalignment at day 7 rather than day 14. The math on that exchange is straightforward. Next up, now, conclusion. Digital transformation failure is predictable, which means it is preventable. The 67% of enterprises that miss their transformation deadlines share a common pattern: they invest in technology and underinvest in the governance structures that make technology decisions stick. An AI governance framework, a blueprint sprint methodology for pre-development scoping, and HITL workflow automation for AI-generated outputs are not bureaucratic overhead. They are the delivery mechanics that separate projects that ship from projects that stall. Q Services maintains a 98.5% on-time delivery rate across 500-plus projects by treating software delivery governance as a first-class project component, not an afterthought. If your next digital transformation initiative is approaching its kickoff phase, the single highest ROI investment you can make is in defining your delivery governance framework before your first sprint starts. The governance gap is where timelines go to die. Close it before you begin.